You don't have to wait, you know my name. Sunshine and rain, some things don't change. Thinking about the days we were younger. Innocent in our ways, we were dumb, girl. When nothing really mattered, I could always count on you. Your touch will leave me breathless, so let me give it back to you. I could always count on you. I could always count on you. Don't have to wait, you know my name. Sunshine and rain, some things don't change. Thinking about the days we were younger. Innocent in our ways, we were dumb, girl. When nothing really mattered, I could always count on you. Your touch will leave me breathless, so let me give it back to you. I could always count on you. I could always count on you.
All right, everybody, what is up? How's everyone doing? I know it's been a while. Everyone's been busy right now. Jackson's about to graduate. We're about to lose him. Not really, but just at high school. And then we have John here. I mean, we had John on the last one, but Jackson, how you doing?
Doing swell.
That's swell to hear. John, how you doing?
I'm wonderful. I'm just as good as can be,
Oh, that's great.
but
to
also
hear.
not simultaneously. So, you know.
All right. Well, someone said graduate preschool in the comment section, so they're roasting you.
Ooh, get roasted, Jackson. By one of the viewers, too.
Yeah, that hurts.
Which pissing viewer was it?
Nicholas said it.
Piss you, Nicholas.
Guys, just giving you an update. John's gonna
Just
be.
kidding. Nicholas is a real one.
Nicholas is
literally
always
asks a
in
question
here.
every time. Nicholas and some dude named Brody, they're always up in here.
We appreciate you. Me and John do. Anyway, let's get right into it, guys. Warriors are in trouble. They are actually in trouble. They are tied. Series tied 2-2. Is this finally the year? Nicholas said, love you too. Is this the year the Warriors don't make the playoffs? I mean, the finals, sorry.
Wait, oh yeah, you need to ask one of us.
Sure, John, you can.
You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb.
O'Hearn with the grand slam.
Okay,
Royals go up
O'Hearn just hit a
6-0.
Grand slam.
Sorry.
My God. But no, I mean, oh, there's my mom in the background if you can hear that. But anyway, in general, yeah, I mean, this could be the year. In fact, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it is because Warriors bench is
I said not
absolute
make the
garbage.
finals. I did not say win. I just said not
No,
make.
I would go with that. I mean, the Rockets are the best shot. Let's be honest. That team is just. I mean, they're a well-sound group. PJ Tucker really has done well. So has Eric Gordon, and Chris Paul just kind of does everything well. So it's a well-rounded team with a good bench, which is where the Warriors struggle. I think that we see that a lot late in games when, like what happened last night, Kevin Durant missed a wide-open three-pointer, and Steph just like missing layups all the time. So I'm saying that this is the year it will happen.
All right, Jackson.
I think they'll beat Houston in 7, to be honest. I think the fact that they don't have to win a road game is really the big thing here. But I do think there's a strong chance. I wouldn't bet money on it, but there is a strong chance they do lose in the end to rather the Bucks, Raptors, or Sixers. I'm already counting.
But you see them making the finals, but you don't see them winning.
Well, the winner of this series between Houston and Golden State is going to make the finals. That's
my only thing is that if they beat Houston, there's no way they lose to one of those East teams.
I
even
don't
with
know,
the
man.
pressure to win on the road. I feel like
PSG, what is
I don't-
up? How you doing, man?
It could go. Giannis is a baller. He could
baller.
get it done. He
It
could get
could-
it done.
I think without LeBron, this is actually the year everyone's interested to see who the Warriors have to beat this year.
But I also want to say that everyone should be cheering for the Rockets if you want an interesting finale to the playoffs.
Oh, I'm cheering
Because
for the Rockets.
if you're cheering for the Warriors, you are insane. And in terms of entertainment value, a final NBA 4 with the Rockets and then just the way any of these series work out would be so much more entertaining than anybody with the Warriors because, I mean, really, they're better than everyone. And if the Rockets do beat them, it's going to be kind of on luck. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion,
this is. Hold on. I'm just saying this is probably their biggest with Kevin Durant. This is their toughest postseason they've had. The first year they lost 1 game total. Last year, I know they got taken 7 by Houston, but other than that, I don't think they got taken more than 5 with anyone else. So being taken 6 and at least in the first 2 series, it's the biggest struggle they've had, and I think it foreshadows what's about to happen in the future. And I think the team's about to split up.
But I also think that the Clippers definitely like expose some vulnerabilities too because they're not like I don't know, they're not unstoppable at home like a lot of people expected them to be because I mean they got beat twice there and if the Clippers can do it the Rockets sure as heck can. So yeah.
well, what
It's
I
interesting.
was trying to get out is, I think, I think this is the year the Warriors don't win it, but I see them making the finals. I think this series will go 7. It'll be the best series, but I see a team from the East actually winning it this year.
I can't see them making the finals and not winning. I feel
I mean,
like
we've seen it before.
I mean against LeBron with Draymond getting
It's
suspended
kind
in
of
game
crazy
5.
that in the entire Steve Kerr tenure in Golden State, they haven't lost a playoff series in the Western Conference.
Yeah, no, it's they have not lost to a Western Conference team in the playoffs. That is insane.
Something
Yeah.
I do want to talk about is all this series. I guess you can say the tensions are high. James Harden has a bloodshot eye. He came back after game 1 with a bloodshot eye, or game 2, excuse me, and he's still killing it. Him and KD are evenly matched right now with every stat other than points, and it's a 1-point difference. Is KD having? I guess I'm gonna kind of switch this question. Is KD having the best postseason we've ever seen in a while? That we've seen in a while.
No.
We're talking about from KD or players in general.
We can do both.
Okay, well, we'll say this. From Kevin Durant, I would say yes. I think this is the best he's ever played in any time, actually. I think he's having the most – I think he's more comfortable now than he ever had. He doesn't have Westbrook to get in his way anymore. He's fitting in Golden State. He's having to carry the load because Klay Thompson's not playing very well. Neither has Curry, really, except for last night. So I think this is probably his best postseason. As for the best postseason we've seen in a while – no, you have to go back just to 2018 at LeBron's postseason. I mean, that dude.
That was probably the best postseason.
That makes Kevin Durant's numbers look childish. Like, go back and look at the statistics that LeBron put up on the percentages and just the circumstances, and it's not even close, to be honest with you. But then again, Kevin Durant's only in the second round. It's hard to judge that yet. You know, if Kevin Durant loses in 6, and if the Warriors lose in 6 or 7, it's not even going to be. If they win the finals and Durant carries them all the way there, then yeah, it's going to be up for debate.
All right, John, what's your answer?
I mean, I would say to counteract that, and I don't want to go as far as saying that he's had the best one, but if there's any sort of, and I don't even necessarily stand on the side that makes him, be better than LeBron, but I have to say that he is going against Western Conference teams, and the Rockets and Clippers have both been very formidable opponents up to this point, which I'm shocked that I'm saying that with the Clippers right now. But I don't know. I think it's really interesting because a lot of people, when they would question the Durant postseason performance, was because, it was just easier when he had better players around him, like those great ones. But this time around, Steph and Klay have been pretty not that good. So to just give you my great English skills. But I mean, yeah, that's the interesting thing to me here because he's pretty much put that team on his back, which he hasn't exactly done in the last postseason. So it's definitely something to look at. But from a KD standpoint, definitely his best postseason.
All right, now let's look at some other series. And
Hold on a second before we move on.
Okay.
This year, or I don't know if it was this year, when Kevin Durant scores 40 points for the Warriors, the record is 6-7. So I found that pretty interesting that when he is insane that they're not winning.
So are you saying don't give KD the ball?
No, I'm still saying give KD the ball. I'm saying when you have to get 40 out of KD, that tip Curry and Thompson aren't feeling it, and that typically results. So just because it's his best postseason, I mean, we saw that with LeBron. LeBron played amazing, but it didn't result in all wins.
All right. Well, let's go into the next series, and that's the Nuggets and Trailblazers. It's probably Friday night. I stayed up till 1:00 watching that game, so that was fun. Even though I wanted to see the Nuggets win, but let's talk about that. Nikola Jokic that night played over 60 minutes and had to play in 48 hours. For that big of a man, do you think that game right there changed the whole series? It changed the whole mindset on both teams, I guess you can say. Because that's almost playing 2 extra quarters.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they played a lot, and not good for them, I guess. But I guess the positive out of that is that they didn't have to travel after. They got to stay in Portland. I think, if anything, it would have given Portland momentum, but Denver was able to battle back and win Game 4. To me, this has looked a lot like the Spurs versus Nuggets series, where you think that are in a bad position here. They're on the road down 2-1. What are they going to be able to get it done? And then they win Game 4, and now Game 5 tonight. You said it earlier today that it's the biggest game of the series for most of the time.
Game 7.
Game 7. I mean, it's true. I mean, you get whoever gets the 3-2 lead wins most of the time. So, tonight's a huge game.
Unless it's Warriors.
If Lillard continues to struggle in this series, I think Denver's going to win in 6.
Let me say this: if they had Yusuf Nurkic, how big of a change would that be?
I mean, I think it would help out a little. To be honest, I don't think there's anybody on Portland that can stop Nikola Jokic. So I don't know how much it would really matter.
All right. John?
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the more interesting series up to this point, even though it probably holds the least amount of significance in terms of, finals appearances, because I don't think anyone thinks that these teams will beat the Rockets or the Warriors. But I have to say that the thing about the Nuggets is that you really never know what you're going to get. They usually play a technically sound form of basketball where, they're always getting good looks, playing solid defense, but things just come around, and a lot of times the shots are not falling, and that is when they lose to the Spurs, or when they are falling, that's when, they look like they're definitely the second best team in the Western Conference. So I don't really know what to think up to this point. I think this game is really going to decide the winner, and I think they'll win. Whoever wins this game, I would not be shocked to win Game 6 as well, just because momentum's really played a big part with the Denver Nuggets up to this point, but definitely interested to see how things work out tonight.
Yeah. I hope the Nuggets take it. I want to see the Nuggets make the Western Conference Finals. I mean, they're going to be pooped out after at least going, if they win this series, at least going 6 games and 7 in the last. That's 13, while the Warriors or the Rockets.
Warriors would have to go a while too.
Yeah, the Warriors would too, but I'm just saying the Rockets, they only had to go, what, 5?
5,
and this will probably go 7. It won't be a big difference, but I'm just saying.
I know. They're not talented. You could give the Nuggets.
You could give them 2 weeks, to study the team, but I still think
they would still lose. So it doesn't really matter.
But let's go into the other conference, which is the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the 76ers and Raptors first. I feel like that's more interesting.
Oh my God.
2-2 right now, and the Raptors are killing the Sixers 64-46. 43 with 2 seconds left in the second quarter.
Uh-oh.
This is also Game 5. Raptors win this one, which is what it's looking like. Do you see the Raptors closing this series out on Game 6 on Thursday?
Well, I think the Raptors have to win tonight. I think you can't go to Philly down 3-2. I think the pressure's on Toronto tonight, not Philly. But
You're saying Philly doesn't have doesn't have as much
well,
pressure.
they have pressure.
They don't have as much, you're saying?
I would say they don't have as much because they get to
Even though
go
this
back.
is Game 5.
I mean, they
Okay.
still also have to know they have to win a game in Toronto. So
That's true, but I'm just saying it's a lot. I don't know. It's bad if you lose this game either way, but if you lose a home game and then have to play in Philly, they have the momentum and the home. It's kind of hard either way, but I felt like Toronto needed this one tonight because both games in Philly were really, really close, and you don't want to put your season in that. But yeah, I think the Raptors will win this in 6 or 7. I'm gonna say 6. I don't trust Embiid's health. I don't think he's healthy right now completely, and when he's not healthy, that they're not the same team.
Okay, while you said healthy, I want to talk about that. Embiid texted Brett Brown 6 a.m. on a game day saying, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go today because he's sick. He's not hurt. He's sick. Is this showing that I get, like, you being sick is, like, not, you're supposed to tell your coach and everything, but you saying you might not be able to go in one of the biggest series in the playoffs as of right now because you lose, you're done. Do you think Embiid should have just not even told anyone and just kept on playing like he's healthy?
Well, I think it's something that reached. It's not like Embiid tweeted something out or told the media that he told his coach Brett Brown, and that conversation I feel like should stay between Brett Brown and Joel Embiid.
And
I
then
don't feel like there's any need to bring that to the public. I feel, if a guy doesn't feel well physically, you talk it over and you see what you can figure out. You don't go to the podium after the game after your star player underperforms and say, well, he texted me earlier today that he was sick. I don't want to hear that.
Ben Simmons also did that. I don't want to say you put him on blast, but he was not saying, hey, the man's sick. He was saying, I agree with you guys. He's hurt. He's sick, but he should have still tried as hard as he can. He kind of tried to say it in a nice way. I know, but I mean, I feel like Simmons didn't feel like he did, though.
Here's my thing, and I know I've heard a couple other people say this as well, but I'm not sold on that you can win with both Embiid and Simmons. I'm not sure they're a good duo together because they both clog the lane, and I don't think it's going to work. But, that it could. I could be proved wrong, but that's just my personal opinion.
John?
I don't know. To counteract that, though, they both work really well from the perimeter. They're not necessarily shooters, but they can still work from the outside. They're not, solely inside the paint players. So I don't really know, though. Kind of an interesting situation with the whole Embiid sick thing. Probably not the best move to just throw that out there. Probably should have just gone on with it. But either way, also probably not the best thing for the Sixers when people had already been questioning, his ability to perform in the playoffs going into that game. I mean, he did have his kind of breakout night the game before, but pretty much most games leading up to that for the entirety of the playoffs, people have been wondering, will Joel Embiid get his stride back? So I think we're just drawing more attention to, I don't know, a bad distraction right there. But I do think the Raptors will win this series. They seem to be the better team, to be honest. And Kawhi Leonard has just been an absolute force in all facets. So offensively, defensively, they have that going for them. And yeah, I think they're going to end up pulling it out in 6. And one thing I want to talk about is Kawhi Leonard actually bothered by crowds? Because I feel like home field advantage means nothing to that guy. Like, if someone boos him, does he even care? Like,
no,
it's probably just like, huh?
Any player doesn't care. Unless
I know, but like, does he even get fazed by like the opposing stance? Like, I feel like he doesn't. I feel like, and he gets no energy from the home either. Like, I don't know. And maybe this is a completely irrational argument on that point, but like, I almost feel like home and away.
Breed of players. He acts different than everyone. When you
Oh,
go
yeah, no,
left, he
he's
goes right.
Yeah.
he's an anomaly, but it's weird. But I think the Raptors will end up in the NBA Finals. That's my prediction. Overall, though, entertaining series so far.
All right. Let's talk about the Bucks and Celtics. Celtics won the first game, and everyone's saying it's over. After 3 games in a row, Bucks have won
Oh,
all
Jackson.
3.
I
Bucks
didn't
are
say it
up
was
3-1.
over.
Is this Bucks team an actual team to watch out to win the title? John, we'll start with you.
I'm gonna say, if the Warriors make the finals, no. But if the Rockets are in there, I think the Bucks Rockets finals would be as entertaining as it gets. Giannis would be able to really put an interesting defensive cap on Harden because he's just been a great defensive player all year. And I think that would make for a great series. But if they're playing the Warriors, I don't think they have just the number of players to keep up with just the Warriors' multi-pronged attack, especially if Boogie Cousins somehow makes his way back into the lineup, which Steve Kerr's been hinting at recently. So,
I don't see him. I don't see him making it back at all.
yeah, I once again, that's completely off his word. But either way, interesting thing to look out for. The Bucks definitely have a shot all around. So they still have to get through the Celtics. However, 3-1 leads are not stable, as we know. So interesting series to finish up there.
Jackson?
Yeah, no, I think the Bucks can be a threat. I think there's no legitimate answer for Giannis right now. To be honest, if he just could drive every time, they would rather foul him or he would get in easy. So, there's that. And then I don't think the guys around him get enough credit. That's a really good team. Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon's coming back. Eric Bledsoe's played really well this year. Nikola Mirotic was a good signing. The guys just fit really well together. And that coach, Mike Budenholzer, I don't know how to say his name, but he coached the Hawks before.
Budenholzer?
Yeah, he has changed everything there because it's virtually, take out Mirotic, it's virtually the same roster that they had a year ago. But, coaching really can make a difference in the NBA sometimes. And that, he's done a great job with that team. So I think they could, and I think they'll be Boston. And I was a Milwaukee skeptic coming into this postseason, but they've proved me wrong, and that they have what it takes to win the postseason. We'll see. I think winning the East is going to be a tough challenge for them, but I think they have a good shot to do it. They have home court advantage, so that helps out a lot. And then as the finals go, I don't know. I don't think they're good enough to beat Golden State. And I think if they played Houston, it would be one heck
Is
of.
the winner of the finals going to be coming out of the Western Conference once again?
Depends on if it's Rockets or Warriors in the final. If it's
If it's
Rockets, it can go either way. If it's Warriors, it's going to be the Warriors.
All right.
Yeah, I'd have to. Even though I think the Warriors could lose in the finals, I'd say most likely not.
All right. Let's move on to MLB. Royals are up 7-0 now. They're in the top of the 4th. Royals are 12-24. They still suck, so I don't know why someone PSG put me in quotation marks. Royals suck. They actually do. I really don't know what to say about them. Their bats are going. Something I do want to talk about is I forget who said it on the Astros, but one of the coaching staff, maybe it was even the manager, they said, "What's one word to describe the Royals' offense?" And they said dangerous. Would you agree with that? Jackson, we'll start with you.
No, I respectfully disagree with that because outside of the top 4 or top 5, they're garbage. The bottom half of the lineup is absolutely atrocious, especially with Chris Owings in the lineup. Hamilton's hitting under 200. Maldonado's hitting under 200. O'Hearn's getting a little better, but he's still hitting pretty poorly.
O'Hearn hit the grand slam the other night. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
his average is still low.
Exactly.
And Owings, my God, I mean, it's disgraceful. But
Ned kind of said he doesn't want to leave someone in the dark, but for how bad Owings is doing, I'm leaving him in the dark.
No, Owings needs to get left straight in the dark, like right now.
Owings can get the piss out of here, all right? I don't want to see
facts.
his face again. But, I
He
think...
did hit a double.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We do have some good hitters, and that's better than we had last year, I would say. Other than Witt, I feel like Witt's still hitting well. Mondesi's going to become even better. Gordon's surprisingly hitting really well. Hunter Dozier, oh my God. honestly playing in an
Leading the
all-star.
American
He's
League with
hitting.
his batting average.
He's playing like an all-star. I doubt he gets to be in the game because no one knows who the piss Hunter Dozier is. But
I mean, if he
I feel like
keeps
people will know
above
who he
300
is.
up to then, though, he'll
you know
he'll
it. You know what it is. I'd like to see him there. Solaire's rather a strikeout or a home run. So that, but I think there's a ways to go. I really do like though Terry Brown, the hitting coach, because the guy's really
Terry
like
Bradshaw?
Terry Bradshaw. not
Yeah,
Terry
my
Brown.
bad. Yeah, but we haven't been shut out this year, and that's actually pretty impressive. So
I would say this. Yesterday, the Royals' loss was the first defensive loss they had. They lost because of the opponent's defense, not because of our pitching. Yes, our pitching kind of wasn't the best yesterday, but the Astros had really good defense yesterday. If that makes any sense.
yeah,
Dozier with another hit. Oh,
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a
that
triple.
was a terrible mistake on him.
Which
I'm
is
not
weird
even
saying
watching.
Dozier's
Dozier
going
with
to get
the
a triple,
triple.
but
Turning first triple in the season for the Royals. That's $21,000 to the Honda.
And you know what's interesting? I don't know if it's changed since like a week ago, but the Indians don't have a triple this year.
And we have 21.
Yeah, so that's just interesting. Actually, I saw something today on Twitter that said we have the second. You know what run differential is, right? Like
Yeah.
total up. We have the second best in our division.
When we
Even though we're
lose,
last-
we lose.
We lose some close games, man. It's unfortunate, but
It's just
those
that
close
ball's
losses
not going
turn.
our way.
Listen though, like Minnesota's a plus 33, and then we're a minus 13, which for our record isn't bad to be.
It's not bad.
For Cleveland's minus 14, and they have a winning record. Detroit's minus 30, and the White Sox are minus 28. So, there's a difference between losing and getting obliterated because the Orioles and us have virtually the same record right now, but they're negative 65 runs, and we're negative 13. I'd much rather be us.
All right. John,
And then there's the Marlins.
John, what do you think about the Royals team as of right now?
they're pretty bad, but they have some really good players that I think will be the core of our next winning run that we could have coming up, because I think we have a lot of them secured for a good bit of time, minus Gordon. But overall, it should be an interesting few years to come. We're going to have to spend money if we want to win. That's the thing between turning in, a relatively solid group that we have right now into a team that can actually win. Because
what's up,
that
Brody? We were talking about you. Sorry, John.
Yeah, thanks. Anyway, yeah, no, it's an interesting situation because we really don't lose by a lot when we do lose, and we're a solid bullpen away from, being in a 500 team, if we're being honest. And if we can start putting all the pieces together, then we can get hot again and, definitely get that record better. I don't think 12-24 is quite doing justice for what this team's capable of, but obviously they also have some big flaws. But it's been an interesting year. Lots of good hitters, lots of stuff to be excited for, but definitely some improving to come because this team is not anywhere near ready to compete for the division.
I would totally agree with that. Something I do want to talk about, the Red Sox are still struggling, but not as bad, I guess you can say.
Yeah, they've gotten a little hotter.
They got a little hotter.
They're getting back to 500, which, to be fair, like, when your team is as good as that team is, you could suck in the month of April and still be fine.
What I do want to ask is, will the Red Sox finish better than the Yankees this year? Will they win the division?
No, I've said that. I've been saying this for a long time. I predicted it. You can go back, look on my posts for the Yankees to win this division. I felt like they're the superior team. And listen, they're winning a ton right now without most of their lineup. Judge and Stanton, for one, are both out of the lineup. So, to me, it's kind of like, yeah, they're a superior team. Then you have to factor in Tampa. Tampa's a good team that goes off of analytics, and it's an interesting approach to the game. But, hell, it's winning, so who cares, Even though Blake Snow can't pitch versus the Royals, it's
for whatever reason.
his ERA versus everyone else is under 3. but versus us, it's 7.5. Not complaining. But yeah, that's interesting. That division's really interesting. I think Boston ultimately gets a wild card spot, finishes between the 90 and 95 range and wins. I think they'll be okay. But the Yankees, to me, are
The Yankees are what to you?
superior.
Would you agree with that, John?
I don't know. I don't think that the Red Sox play right now really reflects how good that team is. It is still very early. The Yankees may well win the division, but if I'm talking about who I do and don't want to face in the playoffs, I'm still going to say I would rather have the Yankees in a 7-game series in Boston. That team is just so absolutely loaded from top to bottom. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough for really anyone to beat a lot of those AL East teams. It's a shame that the one of those three teams with, the Rays and Red Sox, Yankees, and company is not going to be able to advance into the playoffs very far because they year after year just dominate that wild card race. And yeah, it just kind of created an odd dynamic in the MLB. And I don't know. It's really hard because I wonder how the Rays style of play will translate into playoff baseball. There's a different dynamic that you have to look at there.
Being this hot going into playoff baseball.
I think they will. I mean, last year, didn't they win like 90 games or something? They
The
just
Rays?
fell behind.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah.
They went 90 and 72.
Yeah. Oh, Lord, Correa. Oh, wait, never mind. Okay.
What I'm saying is, to me, how it's going to translate to postseason ball, I think it'll translate awesome. That's how a lot of postseason baseball is managed. You don't pitch your guys for 7 innings every time. The opener strategy is used in the postseason. I've seen it happen.
Yeah,
It's just not used in the regular season typically. So I think they're going to keep playing their own game, and that's honestly something. But to respond
yeah, go on. You're fine.
To respond to your Red Sox thing, I do believe the Red Sox have a better lineup and honestly probably better starting pitching. The only thing that concerns me is Boston's bullpen because it's not very strong when you compare it to the Yankees who have Betances and Chapman and Ottavino, or I don't know how to say his name. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a little biased. The Royals had that pen, and I kind of idolize pens now. But a good bullpen in October is so important compared to your starting pitching. And to me, I just – well, it'll be a close race, but I have Yankees getting a couple more wins.
All right. TYREEK Hill, going to go into the last subject for tonight.
Oh, Lord.
TYREEK Hill is still a Chief. Are you shocked by this? Jackson, we'll start with you.
Yes and no. I'm shocked because once that audio tape came out, I thought Veach would panic and cut him, like he did with Kareem. But I am not shocked because once they didn't cut him after the audio tape came out, the days after the NFL draft, I thought maybe they were trying to focus on there must be something that they know that we don't. They're waiting for something to happen. And listen, we will never probably know the real truth if he broke his kid's arm or not, which is upsetting, but there's no video. I mean, we'll probably never know. It's going to be everyone's opinion versus, he said, she said, which is why it's kind of hard for the Chiefs to make a decision. Let's be honest. I mean, if this was some player that was average, like, a guy that put up like 200 yards a season, they would have cut him immediately. You hate to say that, but it's true. And if he did break his kid's arm, and that if they can prove that, I don't want this guy in my city. I don't want him out in public. I want him in jail. That's disgusting. Guilty until proven innocent. I'll let the law enforcement do.
You said guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah. I meant to say it the other way around. Innocent until proven guilty.
No big deal. It's pretty much the same thing.
No, you guys know what I meant. And so, yeah, I mean, I'll let the law enforcement take this into their own hands, and we'll see.
John, are you shocked that TYREEK Hill?
I am shocked with just the way that Brett Veach has handled these situations in the past, but I barely see a situation where Tyreek Hill sees his way through. Honestly, I think that they're just trying to put a little bit of pressure on the rest of the NFL to, teams that are looking for a big receiver
I was
to,
about to say there could be that option. They're trying to figure out if they can get a trade for him.
well, that, but also just the general, like, forcing someone into, making moves before realizing that Tyreek's on the market. Because I'm sure they have, it's all a game. They got to figure out a way to where if they are going to cut him, you got to do it at the right time. And I don't think right now is that time because, I don't know, you give the league a good amount of time to make an informed decision on, whether or not you want to bring this incredible football talent onto your organization. And I don't know. I don't see a great situation where he ends up on our team. I think he's going to probably get found on the exempt list at some point soon.
I was gonna bring that
And
up.
I don't know. It seems to go against the way that Veach has handled these types of conflicts in the past, i.e. Kareem Hunt. So not quite sure how things are going to work out. I'd love to see him stick with us just because of how great he is, but then again, it's so hard to cheer with someone like that on your team because even if he didn't, physically break the arm, he's still definitely just done some
He
awful
didn't
things
talk
in
about
general.
it. He didn't bring it up. He didn't turn his wife in.
Yeah, that in general, and just like the way that he talks to his wife onto that tape, it just seems like a really toxic situation. And it's really a lose-lose here because, I mean, the person that did it, I feel really bad for the person that didn't do it, or if there is a parent that isn't even responsible for child abuse, because I think both of them are doing a very poor job, just with, the way that these reports are coming out. And it really is a shame because it's not going to work out well for the Chiefs either way. We're either going to end up keeping him, and it's going to be kind of rough having, that type of a personality on our team, or we're going to go get rid of him and someone's going to sign him, and chances are he's going to do great for another squad. But I think we did well at covering up for it in the draft because a lot of people are optimistic about McCole Hardman's potential, and I mean, a lot of reports just have him as a carbon copy of Tyreek Hill, maybe just a tad bit slower, but once you're that fast, does it even matter? And yeah, it should be an interesting Chiefs year. Unlike a lot of people, though, I don't think that the loss of Tyreek Hill will dismantle our offense. And I think that we still have the pieces right now to be great, and I'm not too worried about it.
All right. Well, the NFL did come out last week saying they were thinking about putting him on the exempt list, but they decided to hold off until this week. So if nothing happens in the next 2 weeks, do you see this pretty much just becoming like a cold case and just, I guess you can say, just fly under the radar and never know what really the outcome should have been?
I mean, yeah, I'm not completely sure.
How many more weeks until do you think it gets to that point where we won't know?
I mean, I don't know. This case is going to go on for a while, I feel like. And it's all going to come down to whether or not the Chiefs are willing to stick with him, because I don't think that he's going to spend any time in prison. The legal system's not going to be able to get him because, I mean, there's no definitive proof that he did it unless new evidence comes out. And so many things just come from a million different directions in terms of this. So I think we're going to get back to the same point that we were at with the DA back in April, where he pretty much said, there is child abuse and neglect going on here. I just can't identify the source of it. And, when that happens, you can't really get someone in trouble. So interesting situation. Terrible as a Chiefs fan. Hate to see it. And terrible for the kid as well. But, I mean, not much we can do right now except wait because there's no telling what the organization's going to decide to do in this situation.
Jackson, how many weeks until this becomes a cold case?
I mean, I don't know if it will become a cold case because, I mean, I think as long as he's in the NFL, it'll be relevant. People will make jokes about it. People, will bring it up. But, I mean, I agree with John. I don't think they're going to be able to find definitive proof that either parent did. Crystal, the wife, takes the fall for, Tyreek for some reason. If, which I hope she doesn't do, but, you could see it happening. But
Well, I hope if she is doing it, it means that she actually did it because
right, but I mean, I don't want her just doing it because she's afraid
exactly,
of Tyreek.
yeah.
But like, yeah, I don't know if it'll ever completely blow over. You know, there's not ever gonna be proof of him or her doing it, which makes it really tough on the legal system because they don't want to indict the wrong person,
Yeah.
and you can't really fault them because it's kind of a lose-lose. If they pick one of them, it could easily be the other. There's no 100% evidence. Yeah, it's not fun. You wish that he could just stay out of trouble, but he's had a troubled past off the field, and there's no reason to believe that even if he gets past this case, he won't get in more trouble. So it's just a messy situation.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But that's gonna cover this podcast. I guess you guys can say we will not have a podcast on Saturday nor Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Gonna spend the day with the moms. Your viewers' moms too. Anyway,
Oh God.
got him. No, but we will. I know it's sad, but we will try to be back next Tuesday. We will keep you guys updated.
We might be able to get some action Thursday or Friday-ish, maybe. Who knows?
No, I have work both days.
Soft. Quit your job. Quit your job.
We will see you guys eventually.
Hey, wait. Is it still on?
Yeah, what?
I'm finna self-promote, all right?
No, I know where this is going. No, see you guys.